Hey, what it do with the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on socials.
Absolutely, man. And I am Spike Lou on them same social sites. Holla at your boy. Hey, B, what up? How you
And I
feeling?
can't call it, man. It's 100 degrees in the A. It's Friday. That's insane.
Dog days of summer are here, but fall is right around the corner, man. Like you can tell, football season back. I'm watching preseason football that mad now. College start next week. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fall is here.
Nobody watches college.
That's a lie.
Let's be clear. Nobody watches college football anymore, but go ahead.
That is 100% a lie. As you get older, do you appreciate the fall more than the summer?
I've always been a fan of the fall.
Been a fall. I used to be a summer guy, but now I'm totally give me the fall.
Yeah,
fall is the best time of the year. It ain't too cold. It ain't too hot.
Bingo.
Good shit be on TV sports wise.
That's what it's comfortable
wide
outside.
Variety, yeah, comfortable. Wide wardrobe variety.
That's what I'm saying. You got options now.
Fall is the best.
That's a fact, man. That. And you know what else is the best on that TV show? We are the best.
I agree. Absolutely.
Got an action-packed show coming up, man. Your man Irv Gotti was on Drink Champs, had several quotables. We're going to highlight one specifically regarding Jay-Z and Dame Dash's relationship. Your man T.I.'s son King, he is complaining that two artists that are hot right now are overcharging for the features that he's trying to get. We're going to tell you who that's about. And your man Meek gets clowned again on social media for some things that he tried to pull off at a sneaker convention. But first, EST Gee was out on his promo run last week for his new project that came out Friday. He received backlash for walking out in the middle of Bootleg Kev's interview. It's a simple question. Actually, he took to social media to say why he left is because he wasn't getting asked about his album and he was getting asked goofy and weird questions. My question is, was this lame or do you respect his response?
I respect the STG response for this. I'm up here to promote my album. You talking about aliens and you talking about football. Yes, I've discussed this before. And to shoot Bootleg Kev some credit, allegedly his team reached out. EST Gee team did reach out and they say, hey, he doesn't want to just do the typical interview. He wants to do something different. Ask him about some of the things he likes, which are UFOs and things of that nature. But it seemed to irritate EST Gee. Mm-hmm. And at some point in the interview, before he got up and walked out, he kind of looked at him, gave him the vibe, like, hey, bro, what are you on? Like, I'm here to talk about music, I think that he even said. Mm-hmm. So the reason I don't look at this as lame is it's Bootleg Kev job to drive the interview. You're the professional. I'm the artist. I'm here to sell a record, bro. If you can't keep it on selling the record, and then I'm going to get up and walk out, I may not be interested this day. So when Bootleg Kev started to see the resistance in it, he should have pivoted. Go back to the music. Hey, what'd you like about this project? Go back to that. At least you save an interview and the nigga don't get up and walk out on you. So I'm blaming him.
Yeah, my initial thought was that this was lame by G. But if the reports are true that the team did give him the heads up to talk about some left field shit, they set him up for failure. So I'm not necessarily mad at G or Kev. I'm mad at the team because one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, and you can't go out like that, bro. Like, you're out to sell a project. You need as many people listening to this shit as possible. You should have read the comments under the post. People are like, who is this? A lot of people still don't know who EST Gee is. And so that lets me know, number one, you were in the right place because you're in front of people who would have been new fans. So you're in the right place. You don't want to keep going to the same place where everybody already know you. You're not going to churn and turn nobody over that way. You go to outlets where you're not as familiar to people and to try to get fans out of them. That's the whole purpose. And you getting out and walking out on somebody like that's established, like Kev, nobody's going to look at that as cool. Like, you look lame, even if you truly weren't feeling it, even if you weren't aware that your team told him to talk about weird shit. And so you're confused. The optics of it make him look bad. So the team dropped the ball. If that what Kev is saying is true, they dropped the ball. This is how interviews go. Nobody goes to a podcast. Nobody goes to a radio show and only talks about an album. Those days are long gone. People want to know who you are. That's the whole reason why social media is what it is. People want to have a look behind the curtain. That's why people put videos up for everything that they fucking do, what they're eating, all this extra shit, where they're going to. You do that because that's what you have to do when you're famous. If you're at a certain level. Now, there's a couple niggas that ain't got, but Beyonce ain't got to do that shit. Kendrick ain't got to do that shit. There's a couple niggas that ain't got to do that shit. EST Gee is not one of them. If you want to continue to build this fan base, dude, and get them 40 and 50 piece tickets a show, you have to do shit like that, dude. And so asking weird, quote unquote, weird left field shit is not out of the norm in 2023. Every fucking podcast does it, dude. You think Drink Champs is 3 hours long, nigga? They only talking about a nigga album? No, nigga. Like, come on,
but
dog.
You can relate more to a nigga like Nori than you can a bootleg Kev, which was my point when we talking about in the group chat. Niggas go sit down with these weirdos like him and the little white girl and Nardwar. No disrespect to Nardwar, I fuck with him, but the other people that are weirdos, Vlad, and then you don't get when they not getting the vibe that you put off. But I have a question for you, AB. You're in the same space. You have this interaction. How would you have prevented the getting up and walking out? Or would you have just stayed the course and see if he did get up and walk out? And the reason that I ask, because he clearly showed irritation. I picked up on it through the screen. For sure. Bootleg Kev was right there in the room and didn't pick up on it. So you, as a person that does this in this space, what would you have done?
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know if he was necessarily irritated or if that's just
he was
because
irritated, bro. But you've seen that video. He was irritated with dude.
But if you look at the very first question that he asked him about music, and EST Gee's first answer made it seem like he didn't want to be there. And so it didn't necessarily, nothing had built up. There's no irritation 30 seconds in. So you clearly
unless I don't want to be there, no way.
Yeah, you just didn't want to be here, which is fine. And maybe a nigga be like, hey man, you don't want to be here? Like, you know, you can deal.
Would that be your approach?
I don't have no tolerance. I don't have no tolerance for a nigga act like they don't want to be nowhere though. So I'm gonna be honest. Like, I ain't got hey man, you can bounce, bro. Don't even worry. I'll wrap this shit up. I'll make it easy for you, man. All right, man. EST Gee, man, go stream the little weak ass album, man. Like, we can make this real quick, dude. We ain't got to look awkward. I don't want to talk to you either, bro.
I feel like the best method of content in that sense, from what I listening to a lot of podcasts, he should have called that shit out. And that was part of what I was saying when I made the joke in the chat about like niggas going to sit down with these weirdos. Bootleg Kev isn't comfortable enough with a nigga like EST Gee to be like, hey man, what's up with you, bro? Like, are you good? Like, do we need to end this on film? But like a nigga like Bootleg Kev saying that comes off, in my opinion, is more disrespectful, as it would if he was sitting there with me and you and I asked him that, or if he was sitting with a Nori, like you said, and Nori like, hey bro, act like something up, man. You got something else going on? And he would have responded differently, I feel like, getting that question from somebody within the culture versus a nigga like Bootleg Kev, which is why it went the way it did.
Bootleg Kev is within the culture, though. He's been doing this for a very long time, dude. Are you familiar with him?
I'm not, to be honest with you. I'm just like the people in the comments asking who EST Gee was then.
Yeah, like, and if somebody was to say EST Gee wasn't in the culture, I'd be like, you just don't know him, and that's okay.
And that's fair. That's fair for you to say, and me, I should know that at my age and being in this game, but I'm not sure that correlates to a nigga like EST Gee, which is my point. A nigga like Nori, even if, Nori wouldn't go through that because EST Gee would have some type of rapport with him. Same thing with a Charlemagne, same thing with a Joe Budden, same thing. I feel like it wouldn't have went that way because the nigga would have been able to call it out because G would have been more comfortable with it. That's just my assessment from looking at him and his personality. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I just don't think that Kev is the type of person that could do that. And I ain't never seen none of his videos, like you said. So I may be wrong.
EST Gee doesn't seem like the most talkative, expressive person. I've seen his B Club when he first came out, but that was when he first was out. So that the lights get bright when you on your first Breakfast Club appearance. So I can understand that. I'm chalking it up to that. But I've never heard him really say anything like profound.
And he alluded to on his little post that he was going through something.
So well then maybe that's it then. That's like, but again, that's on him. That ain't on the host though. At the end of the day,
I mean, pre-interview is important. We know this. We've talked about this. Like, I don't get how, especially how you're speaking of how accredited he is, that you let the video start with him having that type of coldness towards you. Like, how I don't get how that happens. I don't get, like, were you recording? He just pulled up, came in and sit down. Like, I don't understand how then I'm gonna throw it back on Kev then, because like, why did that happen? All right, let's say he was running late or whatever it may be, but still, I gotta ask you something to be able to warm up to you, and that's where having something in common comes into play, other than music. Before you start the interview and talk about the music, I just feel like that he was cold to him because he looking at him the way that I did because I don't know him.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people, when they go on these press runs, man, I don't expect them to know everybody that they talk to because they go to radio stations in fucking Charlotte and out of town. They don't know them motherfuckers, dude. So it's just, clearly he didn't feel like being there, which is fine. Just say that, though. Don't say it's because of the questions. I mean, he asked me about aliens. Nigga, oh, your team told you that? He asked about it? Oh, whoops. Man, like, come on, bro. You look crazy.
Bad shot to the team, man. They said, Kev up.
Basically,
if I was him, that's
they said G up too.
Well, I mean,
that's how I look at
it. It ain't a nigga that's gonna stop listening to him because of that. You're right. He may not have gained no new friends.
That's the problem.
That's what you going bootleg Kev for? He got that type of audience.
Apparently so, because a lot of the comments were like, "Who is this?" Dead ass.
Like, what's his backstory? How'd you find out about it?
He been doing radio in LA for years, probably about 8-9 years. So I knew him, when he was on a show with somebody else in LA, and then he broke off and did his own thing, and he in Phoenix now.
Gotcha.
But he's talked to a lot of people. He been doing it for a little minute.
Job, man. All right, man. Next, speaking of talking to a lot of people and about a lot of people, Irv Gotti was on Drink Champs, and of course, he had comments and stories about Nas and whatever, and Jay-Z as well. He made this declaration, and we want to run it by each other to see what you think, AB, and what I think. He says that Jay-Z was responsible for Rockefeller's success. Dame Dash was just along for the ride. What say you, AB?
I mean, that's the perception from a lot of people on the outside simply because of what has happened since they've split. He's not the first person to say that out loud or to at least
Irv
think
on the
that.
inside, though. Don't shoot him no bell.
But that's my point. This is confirming what a lot of fans and people on the outside already believe to be true because of how things have moved since then. Like, niggas, bro, Jay ain't got no app with bullshit movies on it that don't work, that don't exist no more, and he ain't pushing pro kids and
oh man,
you don't see him striking out. You see Dame, and again, Dame is a friend of the show, but you see Dame striking out more than you see Jay. And the more times that Dame gets in the news for mentioning Jay, it just makes it look, again, the optics of it make it look like what Irv is saying is true. Now, Irv, and listen, I watched a couple of clips. I can't sit through a Drink Champs episode. I'm on record saying that. That's and great. The way Irv was talking, it was taking 20 minutes to get out one point. I don't know what he was on right then or if he was just tired, had a long day. I know Irv got a lot of shit going on. I could barely sit through these clips. The one about Nas in Brooklyn was funny, but it took him 12 minutes too long to get the fucking story out. This is plausible from the outside looking in, and somebody from the inside confirming it makes it sound true. That's all I'm saying.
But you don't think that that's what's going on, right?
No, I think Dame added to it. And I think he played a role in the situation for sure.
A role is nasty work. I
mean, like how much of a role does Steve Kerr play in the Golden State Championship, bro? How much of a role does he play? If you take Steve Kerr off and put Mike Brown, do they not win? They got fucking Durant, Curry, Draymond. The players still play, dude. So Jay still has to make hits. He still got to be cold. He still got to do all of that shit. And so how much of a role did Dame play? We don't really know because Dame left and Jay was still able to do that.
You do know from the partnership that they even were able to establish with Def Jam, which gave Jay-Z the catapult to get to where he's at now. Now,
that's big.
When we're talking about talent, I want to be very clear here. Talent, it's the cream of the crop. It raises the boat of all tides. So if someone, and Irv Gotti should have specified this, if we're talking about talent and me being able to take my talent somewhere else and be even bigger, like you're saying, the stuff that we see Jay-Z do, that's off the back of his talent. It took Dame Dash to get them to the point where people even knew that he was talented. That Rockefeller wanted to, Def Jam even wanted to buy in.
Right.
Like I tell this story all the time about how I even got into this, and what made me wanted to do this was seeing Dame Dash scream on niggas about Why the fuck are my artists walking around with Def Jam jackets on backstage? Jay-Z can't do that. And Jay-Z got to a point where he could hire Def Jam to do that versus having Dame Dash do that. Dame Dash can get you to Def Jam. Def Jam can get you to Rock Nation where Hove is now. Hove was smart enough to understand that and make that play, which I'll give him all the credit in the world for. But for someone like Irv to sit up here and say, oh, Jay was more responsible for the success in Rockefeller, we're talking about the record label that they built. We're not talking about niggas' careers. We ain't talking about failed apps. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about the niggas who took Rockefeller and made partnership with Def Jam. Jay-Z couldn't have did that by himself. But Dame Dash couldn't have either. I want to be very clear. Right. Probably couldn't have did it with another artist. It was a perfect match. This was some drunk, druggy shit from Irv Gotti. Niggas just up there babbling, bro. Like he and the bad part and what upsets me the most being a Dame Dash fan about it is it's the irresponsibleness of it, because you said he is on the inside. The perception of it is a nigga like Irv Gotti was there, so he should be able to speak to this. But I promise you, it ain't a nigga listen to it how I just broke it down and be like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense too. Like, come on, Irv.
Yeah, no, that's why I say Dame played a role and a factor.
Very important role.
I mean, in getting the deal for sure. I don't think anybody
just didn't have the talent Jay-Z had. He can't rap.
But you don't have to be able to rap to help somebody be successful, though. You can be like Jay has said it before. That marketing plan was me.
Me
Niggas didn't know that.
Me and Dame, though. That's what I'm saying. That was me and Dame. It wasn't just me. Stop it, bro. Stop. Bro, if that nigga didn't need Dame Dash, he would have cut him way before he did.
Nah, we don't know that,
Dame Dash got him in that room. Yeah, we do, bro.
We don't know that.
Because we see it now.
They just
I feel like if that wasn't the case, then the niggas would be cool now. And it ain't saying that Jay-Z was on no snake shit, but niggas do grow apart, like you said. Some relationships just outgrow each other.
Right.
And Jay got to the point where he wanted to be is where he at now. Like, he was never going to get to that point with Dame.
He realized he didn't need him.
But that don't make Dame less valuable at what he did, though. That's all I'm saying. That don't make him any less valuable.
Saying Jay is solely responsible is like
nuts.
Yeah, that's a
nuts.
Huge statement.
Yeah, that's some druggy shit.
Yeah, I don't know what he was on in that interview, dude. I could barely listen.
Nigga. Yeah, nigga was talking all the way around the world and shit. That was crazy. Irv Gotti is crazy, man.
That wasn't nothing. Let's take it down south, man. T.I.'s son King makes music. Did you know that?
I did not.
I mean, it makes sense.
I vaguely knew, but I know Damani made beats or something, right? And then his other son is like a country star.
What?
Yeah, the older son do country.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew Damani rap though. He pretty straight too. But
yeah, the other nigga do like folk stuff, like the older son.
Oh, okay. I didn't know King made music, but apparently so. How do we know this? Is because he reached out to two artists to get features, and in his eyes, they taxed him. He reached out to Sexy Red, which is nuts, for a feature. She quoted 50 bands, which is even more nuts. And he also reached out to the baby, and he quoted 100 bands. He was upset and says that sometimes you should just do this for the love. Does King have a point?
No, and to be clear, when he said do this for the love, he was on IG Live.
Yep.
And it was, I'm assuming that it was a nigga in the comments that he knew that he was talking to. And he said, for example, no name in the comments, if you were doing something and I fucked with you and you wanted me to come through and just hop on the mic or something, I'm not going to ask you for 10 bands or whatever it may be to just come through and do that. Sometimes you got to just do it for the love.
Gotcha.
That was his quote.
Gotcha.
Now, King, I'm not sure if T.I. has told you. I'm not sure if your mom has told you, any one of your successful brothers, uncles, all the people that you have access to, but you're not that dude, bro. I'm sorry to inform you. I'm sorry that you have to listen to the On Deck TV show to realize that you're not that dude. I'm surprised Sexy Red even picked up the phone for King. Yeah. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm a T.I. fan. Everybody listen to the show. You know how much I fuck with T.I. AB. I'm not even sure if he could get through the Sexy Red right now for the tickets she charged. I mean, like, she just that hot. I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't know if she has. She probably don't even know who T.I. is. I wouldn't even be shocked if that was the case. But I say that to say, King got the game fucked up, man. He think that it is something that it isn't. He doesn't realize, and I'm newsflash again, most of the success that you've had is because of your father, being one of the biggest rappers, one of the best rappers of his generation. So that's why someone would even want you to come hop on the mic at their party and you not charge them because you haven't done anything to charge them. Like you said,
Right.
AB, I didn't even know that the nigga rapped. And clearly he has some misconception about what he's done versus what the baby done or what Sexy Red has done and how that whole barter system works. So King just got some schooling he need done, man. Somebody need to sit him down and talk to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He has no leverage in this situation
None.
to request anything for the love, anything for the low, anything, any of that, anything, period. I'm surprised that she only asked for 50 from him. Like, if I called and asked her, I'm getting the
Right
50
now?
ticket, he in the same boat as me. And as far as she and her team concerned, they don't know who the hell we are. So, like, that's how you have to look at it. He just got to earn them stripes, dude. Like, his brother Damani has been earning stripes. He might could get an answer from someone. I don't know about them two, because you can't pick. First of all,
The baby might show up to his shit for less than 100 bands.
Probably. Yeah. But I'm saying you can't reach out to arguably the hottest, and I'm putting that in air quotes because of impressions. Impression-wise, she's on fire. Anything that she does is going to go viral at this point. That's just what it is. So reaching out to her now, in this moment in time, makes no sense whatsoever to try to get anything for the love, dude. Who knows how long she's got in this game. She's finna cash out for every nickel. She's finna squeeze every quarter out that she can get before her possible 15 minutes are up. The baby has a hot song on the radio right now with the Shake Some.
I don't believe that.
Man, what?
I don't believe that. I do not believe that.
You gotta get outside. Are you serious?
You've been trying to bring the baby back ever since he made that comment about the alphabet community.
He has
he's been dead in the water since then, and you still been trying to push.
He got a song on the radio right now. What?
Man, he's dead in the water, bro.
Man, nigga, that Shake Something going crazy. I don't know what
what sample is it? I know it's a sample.
No, it ain't a sample.
I don't believe that. Who owned the song?
This is his highest performing chart song since the comments he made at Rolling Loud. I'm reading it now. It's on the radio as we speak.
Oh, okay. Sure. So now he's finally back. You've been trying to bring him back before this, but now you just confirmed it with that statement that he finally back.
He's back.
This ain't a sample and ain't no features on there. Is that what you're
he got a remix with Sexy Red. But this is the original song is by him by himself, though.
I think I've heard her on there.
Yeah, you have. You know what I mean? You just don't remember it. It's on fire right now. My point is, it's the wrong time. You want to know you should have called him when he got canceled 7 months ago. That's when you called a baby for the look, dude. You don't do it now that he back. Like, come on, bro. And
it's crazy that he think that they doing him a disservice, though. That's the most mind-blowing thing about this.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that T.I. would be to put him up on a little bit of game.
Well, I mean, he can't answer for sometimes people just got to learn shit on their own, dude. Like the mom can't come through and save the day every time. They got to bump his head. And he got unrealistic expectations in this situation. T.I. might have told his ass. It don't mean he listened. So shit. Crazy. Hey, you can be disappointed all you want, bro, but you got to earn some stripes, man, to get some respect. For shit on the love ticket. Like, hell no.
Shout out to Young King, man. All right, moving on, AB. Finesse 2 times. He took to the IGs and he said, man, you know what? I'm a mix of 50 Cent, Yo Gotti, Dobie, and Gucci Mane. To which he got flamed in his IG comments. My question to you, AB, did you kind of see where he was going with this? Or did he deserve to get roasted for that?
Listen, 2 things can be true. You may be able to. Basically, he just named his 1, 2, 3, 4 favorite artists. Essentially, that's probably who
he based his style off of.
That's probably who he based his style of. That's probably who he was listening to when he was locked up. That's probably who he was listening to day and night when he was riding around Memphis before he was finessed 2 times. He was out here finessing niggas 2 times, and that's when he was listening to. And so, therefore, he probably based his whole style or whatever the case, because he doesn't sound necessarily like any of them, but I can see where I can see Finesse riding around listening to Gucci in 2017 without question. I can see him respecting 50 and what he's done in the game, kind of that fuck you attitude, that me against everybody attitude. I can understand him leaning toward that. And Gotti is the king of Memphis, so I see the connection there. And Doe B was a fan favorite among a lot of people who was killed and gone way too soon. Had a lot of promise. So all of them make sense in terms of him being interested in them. Now, him saying he's a mix of them and us picking that out from listening to his music, I don't get that. But he may feel that way. And who knows, maybe in 3 years it may make more sense. But today it don't.
Yeah, he put this the wrong way. These are my biggest influences, and it wouldn't have went over the way that it did.
Bingo.
I'm a mixture of, in today's time with the generation that you in, yeah, you opening yourself up for that. You don't, just like Steph Curry was getting backlash here recently saying he was the best point guard of all time. Like, those are accolades that you let somebody else tell you that. Accolades, excuse me. Those are accolades that you let someone else tell you about. You don't just claim them yourself. You ain't say, man, I'm Gucci, I'm this, I'm that. Like, people have to put that on you unless you're using it and saying that was my inspiration. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, this is what's going to happen on social media when you step out and you say something like this. If you're finessed 2 times, like, you're going to get roasted, and there's some funny shit in there too.
To be fair though, Steph was asked, does he feel like he's the best point guard? It's not as if he woke up one day and was like, hey, y'all, guess what, y'all? I'm the best point guard. Fuck everybody else. No, he didn't say that.
But you're saying that he's supposed to say yes?
If he believes it. I wouldn't expect him to say anything. He said him and Magic. I respect that. Who's going to argue? Because there's at least an argument there.
Well, the argument is that he's not a point guard, though.
But he is, though. He's not a shooting guard at all. He's not a 2. He's 6'1".
He can say, I'm the best combo guard ever.
He's not a combo guard.
He is a combo guard, dude.
He's the one. And he can pass. Clay is the 2. It's been like this for years. There's Splash Brothers, dude. They've been like this for years.
He's the combo guard.
Clay is not the one. Steph is, clearly.
Stop. That's not true.
You can't say Magic is a combo guard because he's 6'9".
Magic's not a combo
he played
guard.
Different positions.
He played point guard. Steph don't play point guard.
What?
No, Steph doesn't play point guard. Magic played point guard. Magic was better making other people better. Steph is best when he's cooking.
Steph,
that's it.
Steph has dimes too, though. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not get this lost in translation.
But a point guard is somebody who's best when other people are cooking.
Nah.
Tell me one point guard that ain't got that recipe in their game.
AI.
And Steph does not. He's not a point guard either. AI is a combo guard.
Nah, he's a combo. There's not a listen.
You watch basketball more than me.
Listen, clearly, listen.
You know
when they don't announce positions as combo guard, and that's something they made up on ESPN.
It's new generation. That's why he can make even more of a declaration. I'm the best nigga, the best first nigga ever at this division. At this position, making this declaration. The best combo guard ever.
Put some respect on Isaiah Thomas, though, Steph.
He was a combo guard.
Put some respect on them Pistons, Steph. Anyway, but no, Finesse 2 times should have reworded this differently. He's on live. He's excited. I get it, but nah, that ain't it though.
Yeah.
Watch it. Next up though, an update on the King Von case. Who I thought this was long done, but apparently not. Quando Rondo affiliate Lil Tim, who is responsible or allegedly. Well, I mean it's on camera at this point. It's the one that shot King Von that led to his death in the whole fight. Y'all remember the melee a couple years ago. His charges of murder have been dropped as of last weekend, so he is free and clear of the entire situation. Are you surprised that the charges were dropped?
I'm not. That was here in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Did it say what county? It wasn't the same county.
Oh, I don't remember the county though.
It couldn't have been Fannie County because he would be under part. Like they would be locking him up for this. But no, I'm not surprised that it dropped because we did have video and they can make the claim of self-defense. You can clearly see in the video as to where he probably felt threatened and he could claim for his life. And there's not much that they would have been able to do to prove against that unless you had someone like I spoke of where Thug is getting charged and they're a little bit overzealous and they know the stuff that's going to come with a case of charging somebody that was tied to killing a rapper. So they may try to get the pub from it, but I don't think he's in the same county as far as when that happened and where this happened. So yeah, I could see him getting off from that just based off them having video footage.
Yeah. The thing is though, that there was no other gun present. Well, it wasn't, let me put it this way. It hadn't been presented first. And he wasn't the one that was getting attacked. It was, of course, Quando Rondo. And at first, it was just King Von, but it did look like it was about to get ugly because they were outnumbered. And so before it even got to that point, that's when shots let off. we said this. If I could go back and pull the tape, I can almost guarantee you we called this the day it happened. This happened in 2020, about November-ish. We both were like, once the video came out, we're like, oh no, that's self-defense. It's like he's not finna go. He's not finna do a day. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm not surprised either. Do you think the fact that it was King Von involved and the reputation that's surrounding him played a factor at all?
Yeah, I think that had something to do with it. You're a prosecutor, you got to take that into effect, because 9 times out of 10, if they bring these charges up, he's not going to plea because we've seen the video. So if we go to trial, then the defense attorney got everything at his well-being, like, well, the King Von was this type of person. And you see why my defendant was fearing for his life.
That's
and we've always speak against, like, here's, he could have brought lyrics in and shit. Even one of them YouTube documentaries on that nigga. Like, it ain't hard to find out what Von had going on. And I'm sure the prosecutor was aware of that too. It's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, no, and not even, you ain't even got to go to YouTube. They've got cases that they've put on him in back in Chicago. Like, so it's not even no conspiracy or nothing to it. It's like, no, they've announced that he was tied to X, Y, and Z. So like, it would be a layup to paint that picture.
Prosecutor would have fucked around and lost their job trying to bring charges on dude and lost his case. Yeah, a lot of wasted money.
Facts.
A lot of it. All right. Moving right along. Oh, man. Your man's Meek Mill, Ron Meek Mill. He was at a recent sneaker convention, which I understand from you and M Extra that it's like the stock floor on Wall Street. But he made an offer to a reseller. Reseller declined his offer, and Meek Mill paid the price the reseller was asking for. Cut to Jim Jones at the same sneaker convention. He gets free shoes in exchange for a promo on the spot for those Travis Scott Air J's, Jordan 1s. Did Meek actually have a good point, AB?
Yeah, because the internet was roasting Meek, which they like to do, which
rightfully so.
Exactly, so. Which he gives plenty of reasons to do. He was trying to exchange a promo for a cheaper ticket on the shoes. The shoes were the shoes that he was asking for was $500. He was offering $300 and a promo. And the guy was saying no, he wanted the $500. Now, and then Meek went to go school him, quote unquote, on if you were thinking like a businessman, you would have taken the $300 in the promo, because who I'm with and what I spend on sneakers, I fuck around would have been your main supplier. I mean, you could have been my main supplier, XYZ. And I get that it's Meek Mill, so it's easy to clown him because he does silly shit all the time online, but he was 100% right. The best play would have been to do 300 and a plug. I'm talking about the layup. If I was there and that guy turned to me and was like, what should I do? It would took me 0.5 seconds to tell him, nigga, take the fucking promo. The 300 that you would have charged him is already more than what them shoes have cost. So you're already in the green. Then you take the promo, nigga, for the 20-something million followers that Meek Mill has. And even if you don't get the promo, like, or you don't post it on his account, you just chop that shit up into some promo for yourself, nigga, and write off the 200, nigga, as a marketing expense if you got your shit together. Dude made a rookie mistake, didn't know what he was doing. It's okay, lesson learned. But for anybody else out there, man, take the fucking promo, dude. Like, for $200, man, fuck out of here, dude. It's a layup.
Stop it, man. You full of shit. You are full of shit. Let me ask you a question. How much did those Travis Scotts? I just dig into your whole premise through a series of questions. How much those Travis Scotts cost?
Probably $1,900, maybe 2 bands.
Probably $1,900, maybe 2 bands.
Depending on size.
The Jim Jones got them for free?
Yeah.
Jim Jones were worth more than Meek Mills to you?
Is Jim like a Jim Jones cosign?
Yes.
They all in the same sphere.
Stop it. Stop.
It's in the same
capping
sphere
already. Okay, next question. Would you not be skeptical if you were a reseller if Meek Mill, who has 20 million followers, is offering you promo for $200?
No, because he wants the shoes. That's the thing. People value certain shit.
He got the money out right there. What do you mean he wants the shoes?
People value shit differently, dog. They value shit. He wants the shoes. That's
If
it.
Meek Mill
So if all
values
it
his
take
200 million followers and all those engagement is $200, I have a problem with that. And he ain't been listening to Michael Rubin and fucking Bob Kraft and all the niggas that he hang around. And if I can see that through the video, this nigga standing right here talking to him can see the same thing. Bro, your hair not even combed. You here talking to me about promo. Jim Jones did it right there on the spot. If you was for real about it, you would say, okay, let's shoot the video. I'm going to do this for you. Like Jim Jones didn't have to be convinced. It wasn't no call me later shit. How likely do you think dude was going to be able to get in touch with Meek Mill? Niggas run this game on him all the time if you the vendor. Like, dude, niggas, what rap niggas do.
I'm convinced.
Broke and ignorant doing this, bro. This was really brokish and ignorant as far as this. And I can't believe that this nigga put this shit on video and that you co-signed it. That is insane.
I'm convinced. It can't be brokish and Jim Jones asked for free shoes in exchange.
No, he didn't ask for nothing. Jim Jones didn't ask for anything. He was smart enough not to put that on the video. Here's how I assume the Jim Jones shit went. Bro, how much? I assume you're right, because Jim Jones wasn't dumb enough to put the video out like Meek was, and I ain't have to make no assumptions. I could see in real time how dumb Meek Mill was. But going back to Jim Jones, I'm assuming that the conversation went like this. Hey, bro, you got the Travises in my size. How much do you want for those? Oh, they usually 2 racks, but I'll tell you what, Jim, you do the promo right here, right now. You can have them. I'm going to give you my information and we can keep in contact. Okay, boom. I'm going to do the promo for you right here. I got some cool Travis Scotts. For some dumbass reason, Meek Mill is having the same conversation with a nigga who barely speaks English, not about $1,900 shoes, but about a $200 discount. Come on, bro. This don't even add up. It don't make sense. Meek Mill, and part 2. Why are you telling me this on tape? This nigga barely even understood what Meek Mill was saying. If you really were interested in getting the deal done, you would have said, hey, man, look, I see you charging this much for it. How about I do the video? Just like I just said Jim Jones did. Like, how did that fail Meek Mill? I know you're saying that it's easy to joke on Meek Mill, but he makes it so easy for us, bro. Like he's one of those niggas, and I've said this before, he sound real smart to a dumb nigga. And I know you agree with him here, and I know you're not dumb, but you clearly are not seeing the right way. Like that's what it is. Like he just doing smart shit for niggas who are dumb. Like I feel like he talked to dumb niggas all day. That's just how I feel about me.
The difference in your story is that the seller who was dealing with Jim Jones, who obviously knows what he's doing, is the one that offered up the deal. This dude right here was offered the deal and didn't even know what to do. I don't even know if he knew that was Meek Mill.
So why are you filming it if you Meek Mill, bro? Like, what are you?
I didn't know Meek Mill filmed it,
nigga.
I didn't. This didn't get posted to Meek Mill page, though, did it?
It was homeboy. It was his homeboy that was doing it. He was talking to the nigga that was filmed.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do with who filmed. Really.
You know the present. Well, okay, so remove everything else. All we're talking about here is presentation. All of that shit matters in negotiations, which was the conversation that we had in the chat. And that's all I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that Meek Mill was wrong or Jim Jones was right. I'm saying that the presentation of it by Meek Mill continuously makes him look like a dumbass. Like almost every fucking thing that he does makes him look like this. And I don't understand why he don't get it. I don't understand why he thought this would be a good idea. That's what I'm hung up on. Like we can have the conversations all day about who was right and who was wrong with it because it's a difference of opinion there. But I think you'd be hard pressed to say if you was a nigga that fucked with Meek Mill and you was on his team that you wouldn't pull him to the side. If you was a nigga that he listened to and be like, bro, why'd you put that up?
This shit happens all. This is what happens.
I'm talking about Meek Mill. I ain't talking about shit that happen all the time. I'm talking about the video. If AB was Meek Mill homeboy and you seen this, you would have asked him, shot him a text, and be like, bro, why did you put that video up?
I wouldn't have cared.
That's what you would have done.
No.
Oh, because you wouldn't fuck with him. I'm saying if you fucked with him.
Somebody needs
if
to
it was me and you and I did that, you would ask me like, bro, why did you put that video up? That was done. You look broke. You look broke negotiating with this nigga over $200.
No, that doesn't make any sense. And it makes
all the sense in the world, bro. You Meek Mill, you negotiating with a nigga over $200.
Who doesn't?
That you gave to him anyway. That you gave, and that was the biggest thing. You gave it to the nigga anyway.
He gave him an option.
Here's an example I'll give. Right. Here's an example I'll give, and we can move on from this. Messi was in Nashville over the weekend. Right. He had the whole like Nashville International shit. Tickets for that soccer game were upwards 350s, 500, whatever it may be. I reached out to maybe 5-6 people. who all have $500. I'll put J Hove business out there. I asked him. I know that he's successful. He got enough money to buy a ticket. All of them saying, man, I'm not spending that type of money on that shit. Even though they fuck with soccer, even though they mess with it, the responsible decision there is like, I'm not spending this on that, especially if I know I can watch it on TV or get it somewhere else for cheaper. Meek sit there and told this dude, I can get it for cheaper here. I know that there's a source that got him for 3, but just to prove a point, I'm going to give you 5? That's
no, I think what he meant by that was that he could. I think he had a relationship with the store that he referenced, and meaning that he could go there and get them for 3. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Then go get.
Not that they cost $300 there.
No, I know what you're saying. Like I can use the leverage that I'm
right because they get it. That you I think that's what he was trying to say.
Like these niggas know what I mean over there, so I can go over there and get them for $300. Then go over there and get them for $300, bro. Why did he still give the dude $500?
I just think that he was trying to teach him a lesson.
You can't answer what he still gave him what he asked for the shoes.
This is my thing. If I'm dude, he should take heed to what he said for the next time that a person with 24 million followers walks up to your booth. That's all I'm saying.
That nigga ain't never meeting another Meek Mill. That's another thing.
I know
that nigga right there ain't never meet because, like you say, he don't even know who Meek was.
That'll be the first and last time,
bro.
When opportunity knocks, nigga, you got to answer the door, dude. I don't care if it's Meek Mill's silly ass on the other side.
Even when people don't, people have to understand the value of the things that they're negotiating. Unless it will make no sense. Like that, that's negotiation.
But value is all perceptive.
Exactly. And his perception of the value that Meek was speaking of is 0, which goes to my point.
That's goofy, though. That's dumb, though, bro. 24 million eyes on your thing is not 0, bro.
He don't know nothing about that, bro. That's not his world. And I'm not saying that you're not right, and he wouldn't be able to get those people from that, but he doesn't understand that part of it. Who is Meek Mill to teach that nigga? You still gave me the money I'm asking for. I'm still selling shoes. I don't know you. I don't know Instagram. I don't do none of that shit.
Wow.
I'm selling shoes for the price tag that I got them out here. That's what dude looking to do. Fresh off the boat, man. He ain't trying to hear none of that shit, bro. Yeah. These 5, my plug said they supposed to be 5. I'm got them for 4 here. Give me $500. That's all he was worried about.
That's an L.
You gotta hold that L. Mill is crazy. That nigga been hanging in rooms where niggas been telling him what to do so long that he thought that he was gonna be able to translate that shit somewhere else, and it didn't register. It didn't make no fucking sense.
Yeah, he didn't know. Dude didn't know who he was talking to, and I get it. It happens.
Mill didn't know who he was talking to either.
That too. He thought he was talking to somebody that do this, and he wasn't. He was talking to somebody that was new to
man. Value is perception, like you said.
Next up, man, T.I., who's been on the promo run promoting the anniversary of trap music these last couple of days. Shout out to that. Where is the show in the A, T.I.? He named his 5 artists that he believes are moving trap forward. He listed Lil Baby, which is Cap, Moneybagg Yo, 21 Savage, Young Thug, and Future. Is this an accurate assessment of who is moving trap music forward?
It's really Atlanta-centric.
That's where it was birthed.
I guess, man. I guess you could say the new generation of trap music. I don't think it's the same thing that T.I. was doing. They've taken it a step further because it's a much bigger genre.
Yeah,
like, as Future, 21, Thug have shown us, even Lil Baby. But I mean, I guess if he wants to broaden the horizons of what trap music is and put them in it, I wouldn't necessarily correlate the two. We started identifying trap music with a sound and the lyrics that were centered towards it. Yeah. I'm, in my perception, just from my generation, these artists venture way outside of those lines. They talk about a lot more, especially Future. Well, shit, all of them. I won't even say like all of these niggas is way more diverse than what we identified trap music as.
I agree. It's hard to pinpoint that. Because I could sit here and say, where like Migos, but then if you're talking today, Migos don't even exist anymore, technically. So yeah, then that's fair. But like people like Baby, when you think, but they're listed as trap though.
Yeah.
Whether they are or aren't, and you speaking to it's expanded a little more. It just comes to the evolution of it. It's not as like one note as like a Gucci or like a Scooter. with all due respect to them, but they
With
keep it, or like
Jeezy.
a Juice Man, they keep it pretty on the nose when it
Yeah.
comes to that subject matter. So I guess that's the point of who's moving it forward, meaning I guess who's expanding it, who's growing upon it. And so I guess this is an accurate list. I'm not mad at this. You could maybe swap out one or two for, somebody else, but it's okay. That's fine.
Who else would you say?
I mean, you could have said like a 4-2 Doug or like a EST Gee or somebody if you wanted to just go super
EST Gee.
young.
Yeah, EST Gee should be on there.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Maybe Baby's time has passed. You know what I'm saying? In terms of pushing it forward. He is who he is at this point.
Stop it, man.
Hey, man, I'm wishing on a star for that little baby hit.
Cap. That is cap. Little baby coming back, dude. I got
please get that nigga hit.
Stop.
Please.
That's cap, man. Lastly, before we get to the wins and losses, AB this week in hip hop, coming out hard, pause, dropped 8Ball and MJG's debut album. Question for you on the anniversary of this, AB, what would you say that the hardest debut group album was?
Hey, this is a really answer. Yeah, this is interesting because that came out in 93. If we want to go debuts from a group, Clip's debut was fire.
Yeah.
Outkast Southern Playalistic was fire, but they have better material. I am actually UGK debut. No, that wasn't their debut. No, never mind. Riding Dirty is their best work.
That was their third album.
Yeah. I would say either, are we counting G Unit and like Diplomats? Are we counting them as groups? Because if we are, then they're up there. Along with this 8Ball MJG, because this is a classic. So
is it duos or groups?
I just groups.
Does that make a difference? They don't make no
Not
difference.
really. Because I mean, look at Bone. That's clearly a group, but it's more than two people. So their debut, if you want to call it their debut, that's East 1999. That's up there too. So there's some competition.
That's a good one for groups. Well, East 1999 wasn't that debut though. That wasn't. It was that other one that had like the 8 tracks on it.
Yeah, that was an EP. If we being technical.
What was the name of that?
Creeping on the Come Up.
That was banging though for a debut. Even if it was that.
Definitely banging.
Me personally, I think I'm going with Ghetto Boys. Remember when I first heard that? I remember when I was listening to Scarface. Them, like I think that was their debut. Hold on, let me make sure that.
Yeah, double check that Mike Gang, because.
Oh no, it was not.
See?
I'm thinking We Can't Be Stopped. That was 91. They had 2 albums out before that. So taking that away, it was one before that. True too, huh? The one with the ski mask on. That wasn't the first one.
That was their second one.
Damn, Cain and Abel, best one was their second one. This 8Ball and MJG is probably it for me then. Unless I'm gonna go big timers, and then you still got to count the blue CD before you count the green one, because the green one's a classic.
Facts. Hot Boys too, though. The first Hot Boys is banging.
Hot Boys, that's it. Yeah. That's it for me. It's either this one or the Hot Boys. Coming Out Hard or Hot Boys, either one of those.
I ain't mad at that. Coming Out Hard is crazy. It's still to this day. It sounded good yesterday.
Man, what?
Still. So I thought that was interesting though, man. Shout out, salute to 8Ball MJG. Coming Out Hard show. You going to that anniversary?
Absolutely.
You're tough. I don't know what they waiting on. What are y'all waiting on with these anniversary shows, dude? There's a list right there, dude.
I'm in the building for that, nigga. Yeah,
right there.
It's easy money, nigga. They do that in Memphis, Atlanta, Nashville, Houston. Clean up, nigga. Yeah, that's clean little 5-city tour, nigga.
I don't know. I don't know if it's politics behind like who owns the music, and it's got to be something to it, dude.
So. Maybe they ain't got the rights to do so, because I definitely would. I mean, that like swimwear, nigga.
It's a layup. Man, before we get to the wrap up of the show, man, it's wins and losses time. Win or loss, your man Reason from TDE said no one from TDE came to his album release party. He did clear it up and say Ray Vaughn came. So one person came, an artist. No execs, no other artists came to his party. Is that a win or loss?
I don't know who Ray Vaughn is, and there's no disrespect to him, but if I was Reason, everybody on TDE would have me fucked up. All of y'all niggas got me fucked up. Y'all calling my interviews and y'all doing this lame shit. Nobody coming to my album release. Hell no, nigga. Whatever I got to do to get out of this deal to go promo and start politicking with other labels, I'm doing it, nigga. I would have been on the first flight out to North Carolina to Dreamville. Nigga,
yeah, he fit more with Dreamville anyway. If we being
out of here, nigga. These niggas is crazy.
I will say this though. First of all, Ray Vaughn is, if I'm not mistaken, that's the only TDE feature on his album. So it makes sense that he will be there. And I think he's the most recent signee, if I'm not mistaken.
He just came because he was on the album.
Right. But he did say they had like a private, there was a get together where he played the album and there were more people present then. But this was the official release party. And so he thinks that people wanted to give him space because of that phone call that went kind of viral, because it happened after that. And then B, they had just had like a little smaller get together. So he didn't expect people to come to the actual thing after the fact.
That's crazy.
The optics is crazy anyway.
That's crazy to say.
That album banging too. I had to order the hoodie. I had to go find me the merch link, dude. I listened to the album, listened to it all weekend. Shit banging.
I ain't gonna ruin the top 10 list at the end of the year, but you made some crazy accusations about that album. This is nuts.
That shit fire.
Literally insane. Yeah,
y'all run that porch. Good album. Winner or loss, man. After 27 years, we may finally be close to solving officially the Tupac murder case. Is this a winner or loss?
I gotta mark it down as a W, because the nigga can't be like, oh, they never solved the hip-hop murders, if they're eventually getting around to it 30 years later, damn near with Pac. But I guess they coming to the end of it. They got the information that they seem like they needed. I really want to see how the trial goes and like everything that goes into that, based off all the conspiracy theories that have happened towards this. But yes, the W, man, finally getting some closure on this.
This is an L for Keefe D if he ends up going to jail over this, because he's made a career.
You watched something that said he didn't do it, right?
Yeah, he said he said he was in the car.
Yeah,
but he's facing charges.
Yes. Yeah, he done it then. Because the rest of them niggas probably dead.
They are. Everybody else in the car with him is dead.
Facts, bro. You're associate. You going to jail.
But he thought he was immune to. He thought he had immunity because of the testimony that he gave in the whole nother case.
Going to jail today.
That's an L for him, because he's made a career off doing interviews and telling everything that's happened. So that's insane. But closure would be nice though, because people got to put that shit to bed. Last one, man.
Interviews get you, man. Them Vlad interviews get you every time.
Talking too much get you. Whether that's Vlad interviews, Instagram, nigga, wherever. If you talk too goddamn much, you're gonna get got. W or L, Gucci Man says he is trying to sign a country artist, Oliver Anthony. Can he do it? Would it work?
Good thing about having white friends. Somebody sent me this. I don't even think it was a white person I say that, but I heard the song. I like the song. It's a dope song. It's really soulful. The guy that made it, Oliver Anthony, came out and said, he just had this long Instagram post about what he was looking for as far as just the popularity that he's seen from this song. You're not going to get that with Gucci Man, bro. You're not going to get that at all. He's battling mental health, a lot of different things going on in his life. I'm not sure if 1017 is the place for him, if that is what he's going through. So I'm going to respectfully decline the Gucci Man offer and get to something more stable, more subtle. But he said he's not even looking for a record deal, which is commendable, man. He said he just wanted to get this shit out. Did you read the Instagram post? Yeah, he's like, man, he just wanted to get this shit out. He was battling mental health, and this was stuff that was on his mind for a long time. He wasn't trying to be an artist or nothing like that. He just wanted to put the song out because it helps him deal with his mental health problems. Said he'd been dealing with alcoholism and drinking for years. And one of the things that he did was learn how to play the guitar. And from that, he did this song. Joe Rogan tweeted, and that shit took off from there. And they're all record labels have been beating his door now. The name of the song is Richmond. You got the name of the song there?
Yeah, it's called Richmond. Richmond north of Richmond. Yeah. You like the song? Not a tongue twister at all. Gucci, I understand. While I commend him for trying to go another route, because the artists that he has signed lately in the hip hop lane haven't quite worked out the way that he's wanted to. So he's trying to pivot and maybe go a little bit more of a safer route, air quote. But yeah, that probably ain't gonna happen. Not with Dude Phone blowing up like it is. Yeah, respectfully, not gonna happen.
Some deals. Do you like the song? Have you heard it?
I ain't listening to it, but I don't like country, really? So it got to be got to be banging for me to fuck.
Have
with
you?
It.
Okay, the barometer. Have you heard? You fuck with Tennessee whiskey, right?
The fuck is that?
Stop.
What is that? Who is that?
You have never heard Tennessee whiskey?
If I heard it, I might say that yes, but off the dome, no, I don't know what that is.
That's crazy. You don't. Every person knows that off the dome. That's how cold it is.
I don't believe that.
One, listen to Tennessee Whiskey, and two, this is just like that. You got a pretty wide music palette just from my years of knowing you. You'll fuck with this. This ain't like Johnny Cash and no shit like that. This like white dude can sing, nigga. Wait, like that slick might be all right. So yeah, I think you would like the song. I'll send it to you. It's pretty fire.
If it ain't LeAnn Rimes, How Do I Live Without You? I don't want to hear it. Throw it away.
Rhyme that. You can name that off the dome. You can name that off the dome, but no Tennessee Whiskey is in fucking sane.
Who the fuck sings Tennessee Whiskey, dude?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chris,
you don't know.
You know Chris. You don't know who Chris Stapleton is?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know that song. I know who that is though.
Yeah, you know that song. When you hear it, you okay, I heard this.
Should probably
everybody knows that fucking song. Stop.
Super mid.
It's crazy.
Hey man, on Decker of the Week, man. We're going to YouTube. Shout out to a couple of comments on the last episode. Shout out to @MasterBeats101. He said Jeezy definitely should have gotten somebody else to narrate the book. I heard him stumble a few times. I'm not going to say he can't read. I'll just chalk it up to being nervous. First of all, let me stop right there. That's inexcusable.
I'm not going to say he can't read.
No, he said I'm not going to say that he can't read.
That's funny though. That's the shit that you open yourself up to when you read your own audio. Because I was thinking the same thing with Fat Joe. I'm like, man, this nigga slow. Like, he do the other shit all the time. Why this nigga acting like he can't read?
You can listen. You can't stumble in an audiobook.
Nah, bro. You got to be like, come on.
Nah, this shit got to be clean. Yeah. Nigga, you got if it take 15 takes, bro.
The take, homie. Yeah. He skipped over that.
He continues to say, luckily, Juicy J isn't narrating his book that comes out next month. Thank the God.
Crazy.
Thank you, Lord.
I think that would have been better though. Juicy J funny.
Man, I don't know if that translates. I don't want to hear that. I'm trying to listen to the book, bro. I don't want
you remember that Juicy J funny though. Like, do you remember that little 3?
No, Juicy J is entertaining for sure.
He's funny,
but so is Fat Joe.
Kind of way.
Fat Joe funny.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
He continues. I second AB on Ja Rule having a better discography than 50. I stated that on the ranking of Ja Rule's on Culturalist Theory. Appreciate that. That's where I got it from. So let me give Master Beats props. That's where I got it from. He left a comment on my Culturalist Theory channel, and so he is right. Absolutely, Ja Rule's discography is frying 50 cents. And then real quick, shout out to Hog Lord and Reginald Jackson, who both said there's no way in hell R. Kelly beats Michael Jackson in a verse. You know that
was the controversial topic of, well, not even 12 people hit me up off that. That was just like random banter. Like, we weren't even talking about that. 12 people hit me up like, man, you crazy.
Exactly.
And you're right. Yeah, Michael Jackson got 11 undeniable songs. I will concede to that.
That's true. Facts.
But if we doing more than 20 rounds, R. Kelly got him though.
No, he doesn't.
If we doing more than 20 rounds, because R. Kelly got the random smashes though. Pause. Random
my God.
For R. Kelly.
He got the random smashes. All right. Put on, man. What you put on?
Man, put on. For the Sopranos fans, man, I do a podcast called the Good Earners Podcast, man. We're starting season 3. It's going to be available to you next Monday. If you missed the first 2 seasons, go tap into that. Tap into the 3rd season. Go binge watch the Sopranos. It's a good aid. We do an episode by episode review. So if you want to rewatch The Sopranos, the first 2 seasons are there for you. Season 3 starts on Monday, and we do it every week. So tap in with us. That's the Good Earners Podcast.
Shout out to Sopranos. I was just talking to that with my trainer because we both watched it late. I watched it during the quarantine for the first time because y'all niggas were privileged to have HBO when that shit came out. Salute to y'all.
Or burnt DVDs. Worked at the corner store. DVD man came. Hey, man, I got Sopranos for $15. Let's get it.
But yeah. Sopranos is the shit. It still holds up very well, and that finale is superb. Got hated on for no reason. Put on.
Awesome. What you got?
Going music wise, Quavo, man. I've been listening to that Rocket Power in between these Reason Porch listens, and it's actually pretty good. It is barbecuing the last solo shit that he came out with, which was garbage. Respectfully, when the Migos had their solo runs, where they all put out solo shit, none of them worked. They weren't good. This one, on the other hand, is much better. He sounds much more motivated. It's an unfortunate situation. This album is dedicated to Takeoff, obviously, but there's some really good joints on here. It's good gym music in here, and it's enough to mix it up. He's using the singing, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I think he uses it in the right spots on here and does just enough to give me variety, man. So check out the Quavo, man. I fuck with it. It's actually pretty sturdy.
I'm to tap into that. Not
long live Take, man.
RIP Takeoff, man.
Absolutely, guys. Another one in the books, youtube.com/On Deck TV show. Make sure you go like, subscribe, leave comments, man. We appreciate that. IG as well, /On Deck TV show. Anything else before we get out of here?
Absolutely not, man. We appreciate y'all. We out.
Yes, sir.